Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, class. Welcome to Unity Church of Sun Lakes. I am Kate Turner. You probably know me. If you don't, you're better off. No. Just kidding. I really love this church. I love the people in it. I love the basis of what it's founded on. And it's a privilege anytime that I get a chance to do platform. And this is my first time doing platform for Dennis. And he already made like 3 changes. It should be interesting. Halo? You think it's a halo? Okay. But anyway, the thing I love, I think, the most about this Unity Church is that we don't take ourselves too seriously, and we not only have, but promote laughter during the service. And I think that's so healing and so wonderful. So it's one of the things I love the most about Unity. And now I want to thank a couple of people. Jill, I want to thank you for these lovely flowers. Judy. See, you wrote Jill. You're welcome. See, Dennis is starting off really well, isn't he? Make that 5 changes so far. Yeah, it says Jill. Jill, never mind. Thank you for thinking of us. But we'll thank Judy for the flowers. She's changed her name to Jill. So we'll change it. Oh, good. And that's the next person I'm going to thank is Barry. I'm telling you what, this guy is so sharp. The fingers are so quick, you know. So yes, we are thanking Judy for the flowers today and Derek for everything. He's wonderful. And so, as I alluded to before, our message today will be given by our wonderful Dennis. And guess what? He's also doing all the music. So he's a man of all the talents today. And as a matter of fact, let's have our first song, shall we?
I would invite you to stand up. We're going to have a fun little song. Whenever you're ready, Derek. It's a clapper. 2 and 4, not 1 and 3. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. And you can love you so much. And you can start loving me. That's easy. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. And you can love you so much. And you can start loving me. It's a street. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. And you can love you so much. And you can start loving me. I love myself so much. You can love you so much. And you can start loving me. One more time. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. And you can start loving me.
And the name of that was, yes, I Love Myself So Much by Ricky Briars Beckwith. And now we're going to have our opening prayer, which will be done by Reverend Maria Blanding.
Good morning, all. Good morning. I invite you to join with me in prayer this morning. And just close your eyes and go to that wonderful place within. And just think of all the things that God is. God is the tiniest grain, the tiniest atom, and the vastness of the universe. And isn't it amazing and wonderful that we are all that God is, that we are God in action? So we look at all the things that God is this morning, the serenity and the calmness, the joy that we're all feeling here in this church this morning, and the happiness, and the love that surrounds us. And let's take a few moments this morning to just focus on the love and know that as we become the love and we live from love, that our life starts to expand in glorious ways. Our relationships get better as we come from love each time we relate with another. And every complex problem or small problem in our life is dealt with much more easily as we focus on love and know that truth of our being. So I just say this morning, as we begin to live in love, we can be grateful for the God that is and that we that are. And so I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you this morning, and so it is.
Well, I happen to know that there is a guest today. I don't think I see any other guests today, but I do see one. And I'm not, oh, there's two. There's two. Oh, there's another one. Hiding behind the first one. That's why I can see. Do you mind standing up and telling us your name and who brought you here?
Hi, I was brought here by Mark Wins, and I'm Robin
Well, welcome, it's nice to have you. And the lady behind you.
From Holga, and a friend is Tony, and she told me about this church, and
Well, good.
Thank you, Tony.
what's your name?
What's your name, dear?
Helga.
Helga. And Tony brought her. Well, we have a little tradition that we do for our newcomers, and if we don't have any, we do it to ourselves. And here we are. Let's do it together. We love you, we bless you, and we welcome you.
Thanks for coming.
Really nice to have you, and thank you to the folks that brought the guests. That's always very nice. We also have a prayer that was actually written by our prayer committee, and it is a prayer for this Unity Church of Sun Lakes. Would you all join me? Unity Church of Sun Lakes is a beacon of love and light. We welcome all with open hearts and open arms to express their divine potential. We come together in oneness in creating peace, health, and happiness in our church community and the world. Divine order guides our church as it prospers and grows, providing healing, love, hope, and friendship to all. And so it is. And now the daily word will be read by Mark Wentz. And then after Mark is done with the daily word, we're going to have the meditation by Tom Rothweiler. And you all got your little envelopes, right, from Tom? Do not open them, but you know now what they are. And then we will have, Dennis will do his next song, which is I Am Love, which he wrote himself. So Mark, then Tom, then Dennis. You got it? Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Great to see you all. The daily word today is actually a phrase, pray for others. Good advice. As I pray, I affirm the activity of God in your life and mine. I am honored by the trust of those who ask me to pray with them. Whatever I am asked to pray about, my responsibility is always the same, to recognize all qualities of God are active, even in the most challenging circumstances. I remain steadfast affirming this truth. If I have been asked to pray for healing, I release all thoughts of illness. I affirm divine life is active in every cell. I see harmony and perfect function restored. If I am praying for abundance, I entertain no thought of lack. I affirm divine wisdom, love, and understanding, guiding the one with whom I pray to make wise, prospering choices. As I affirm truth for all who have asked for prayer, my awareness of God's activity in my life increases also. From 3 John, verse 1, Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul. And so it is.
Good morning. I want to talk a little bit about first, before we actually do the meditation. Today is Earth Day, and I thought of something very special. What can we do for the Earth? You know, we talk about clean water, clean air, and lots of different things. But the most pressing problem, and I don't think it gets enough attention, is the climate. Now, Mark Twain once said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. Today is our chance to do something about it. The meditation I'm going to be doing is going to be a Silva type meditation. And when you are going in deep alpha in Silva, you actually have a square of the number of people that are meditating. We have 30 people here. If we all go into a deep place, that's the equivalent of 900 people. And what we're going to be meditating on is something called sphagnum moss. You all have a little packet. And sphagnum moss is the precursor to peat moss. It's the living organism that produces peat moss. Peat moss is found in over 180 countries of the world. Primarily, though, in the areas in the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. So you've got Russia, Canada, Alaska, and the Scandinavian countries in the north, Chile, Argentina in the south, and maybe a little bit in South Africa. So what we're going to be doing is invigorating this peat moss to grow faster. The combination of the 180 countries that have the peat moss actually absorbs more CO2 than all of the forests of the world. It's really something that needs to be done. We need to save the peat moss, save the peatlands, I should say. Stop using peat moss in our gardens because it doesn't need to be harvested. There's other organic matter that can be used, but that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to be meditating, leading the meditation after Dennis's song. So we're going to do that first.
Thank you. Okay, this is a long, kind of chant-like song, and I have the words up. Very simple words. You've heard them before, so please join me in singing. I am love.
From the space of deep relaxation, if you want to hold the packets that you were given, go ahead and hold them. What I want you to do is just keep your eyes closed and just imagine a blank sheet of paper.
We can't hear you.
Okay.
Back row.
Sure. I want you to imagine a blank sheet of paper in front of you, and on this sheet of paper, you're going to see the number 10. That 10 becomes a 9. And as we go down, 9 becomes 10, 8 becomes 7. Each time you have a number there, you're at a little deeper portion in your consciousness. 7, 6, 5, you're in a deeper place. 4, 3, you're in a very deep place right now. Just in your mind's eye, just picture these peatlands, picture tundra. If you're familiar with any particular country that I mentioned earlier, Russia, Alaska, Canada, maybe Denmark and Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Chile, Argentina. Just imagine those places, whatever you think it is. Imagine this peat moss being grown from sphagnum moss is what you're holding in your hands. Imagine the governments of the world coming together and using aerial tankers to spray fertilizer and minerals on these peatlands, perhaps bacteria that can cause these peatlands to grow more rapidly than they've grown. And they've been there for thousands of years. We need these peatlands to take up the carbon dioxide that we've been putting into the air. We needed to stop putting the carbon dioxide in the air before we do this. Otherwise, we are not going to achieve what the necessary results are. The world is committed to reducing our dependence on fossil fuels and putting carbon dioxide back into the air. They've reached that commitment. Now it's time to reduce the atmospheric carbon dioxide, and we can do it with these peatlands. Imagine these peatlands growing. The march of the sun goes on over. The song you're hearing is called Sun March. And it heats these peatlands up, warms them like an eternal spring, and they grow. And every time they grow, they take in more carbon dioxide to make more sphagnum moss. Just hold this vision in your mind for a few moments. Pure love energy causing it to happen. We love our planet. We want to heal it. We need to heal the atmosphere. This will do it. Return your consciousness to the presence in this room and know that it is done.
That was beautiful. I should have my message, but don't have to wing the whole thing. So we're talking today about love is power. I'm going to talk about love and a lot of things, but I didn't mention the earth, so I really am glad that Tom brought that to us today, because this is our home. We all share it, and we want to make it a beautiful, healthy place, just like we would want to make ourselves healthy. Love is power. True love is when you look at someone like you look at chocolate cake. Or in my case, pizza. So today we're going to talk about learning to love ourselves, learning to love others in our lives, and then learning to love the world. But first we're going to work on loving ourselves. It can be a challenge. It's been a challenge for me. I've gotten a lot better at it. And so first, psychologicalhealthcare.com says, learning how to self-love is associated with less anxiety and depression, better recovery from stress, as an overall, to give you an overall more optimistic outlook, and better adherence to healthy habits. So self-love is simply not, here we go, self-love is not simply a state of feeling good, it is an action. This is from psychologicalhealthcare.com. Self-love is a choice. It's a way of relating to yourself that involves being understanding of your mistakes, understanding in your losses, and being able to effectively communicate with yourself about life without harshly judging or punishing yourself. That's a good one. It took me many years to get past the punishing myself when I made a mistake. I was raised in a family that if you made a mistake, you're made fun of, you're ridiculed, basically made to feel like you aren't worthy of love if you make a mistake. So it took me many years to get over that. I had a dream one night that I was in a game show with probably one of the most intelligent people I know. We were on a little game, we were on a team, and the question came up about music. And I'm scrambling trying to figure out the answer, and I blurted out an answer, and she said, "Are you sure?" "Yes, it's this."
And then she gives the answer, like, no, that's wrong. I'm like, oh, you misunderstood me, and I couldn't take responsibility for it. And then finally I went, you know what, I misunderstood the question. But I was so crushed in this dream that I went and laid down on the floor and was in a fetal position until some people came up and helped me get up. And it was like, when I woke up, I was like, wow, if that's not a metaphor for my life. What if I would be defeated? Every mistake I made, I would just beat myself up. It took me a really long time to get over that, but I have. I've joined the human race. That's good, because it was all a superiority thing. You know, if you don't make any mistakes, you're better than everybody, right? So why do I need to feel better than somebody? Maybe I don't feel so great about myself. So feeling better about somebody maybe helped. So while self-love is not necessarily innate, it can be taught. So that's something that, thank God I have a therapist, and she said, you know, why can't things just be a habit that you had, and now you can learn a new habit. You learn that way to be, now you can learn a new way. That totally changed my life. One time, I got on therapy on the Zoom call, and I'm just smiling broadly. She's like, why are you so happy today? I said, because I realized that I can just change my thoughts anytime I want and change my attitude. And I said, and I did that just before I got on here. And I was really happy that I learned how to do that. And it was because of her. So the first step to being self-aware is to notice how you're feeling. So if we're feeling frustrated with ourselves or we're angry at someone else, we want to notice those feelings and know that that's okay. Don't judge yourself. We don't want to judge ourselves for those feelings. We want to accept our feelings without judgment. Something that may help is to think of how you would feel if someone you loved was going through the same thing you're going through. You wouldn't ridicule that person. You wouldn't judge them for their feelings. Say, I understand why you're feeling that way, right? So we can say that to ourselves. I understand why I'm feeling this way. And that's okay. But then we want to forgive ourselves. It's important to give ourselves a break. We're only human. We're darn good humans most of the time. And my therapist said sometimes we're geniuses and sometimes we're idiots. So we want to love ourselves when we're a genius, encourage that part, and also understand and love ourselves when we're not so genius. And then, of course, sometimes we want to give ourselves a break from others. And that's called boundaries. And that can be hard. I was raised in a family where you said no, you're a bad person. All good people say yes to everything. Well, that's pretty hard to do. Kate's like, no. Kate learned it before I did, to say no. And I fed... Not It takes some of us a little longer than it takes others. And then some days we may be better at it than we are at others. So saying no is a form of self-love. Sometimes it's getting professional help. I talked about that a little bit. So we're past the days when there's a stigma about therapy. In fact, we're getting to the place where the younger generation is, aren't you going to therapy? Because we're all wounded somehow. Our parents did the best they could, but they were wounded, so they wounded us without realizing it. Of course, we don't want to wound our children, but sometimes we do anyway. Just by being, trying to be the best we can, and we want them to be the best we can, and sometimes that doesn't come out very nice. So yes, I was telling you about the story of my therapist. What helped me was when she told me, just think, if you're angry, if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're really super excited, anytime, you're always worthy of love. In any given moment, however you feel, you're worthy of love. And that was the thing that changed my life, changed my heart, was that I finally got it. I was meditating one day and I went, oh, I'm worthy of love. And instead of that feeling the pit of my stomach, oh yes, thank God I'm worthy of love, it was, wow, I'm worthy of love. And it kind of changed and shifted. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's powerful. Instead of I'm this poor little thing that, oh God, I just hope God loves me, to, wow, I am loved. That's kind of where that song came from, the meditation. So once we know we're worthy of love, we gain a lot of confidence, and we know that we can do anything If you know God loves you and God is on your side, you might do something you never thought you could do before. Awesome. So think about, what I want to do right now is just take a few seconds, close your eyes, or soften your focus. But I want you to think about something or someone you love. Just picture someone you love, something you love in your mind. And now just let that love grow. It's a good feeling. And now, think of something you're mad at yourself about, something that you wish you had done or wish you hadn't done. Different feeling, right? So now let's take that love that we had a few seconds ago and let's bring that in to our hearts. Let's picture that thing we didn't do or we did do and say, I'm still worthy of love. I want you to practice that at home, or at Walmart, or when you're in your car on the way to Walmart. See how that helps. I think it'll help. From better up, there you go, loving yourself means having a good understanding of both your strengths and your weaknesses. High self-love has a positive effect on our well-being, mental fitness, and our relationships. So let's move to our relationships, how to love others in our lives. This can be a bit of a challenge, I'll admit. For moms across America, I don't think that's what I wanted. Okay, an Israeli study shows that single guys face a 64% greater risk of a fatal stroke than married males do. But only if the unions are sound and supportive. So that's a good caveat. This is also from Moms Across America. When scientists inflicted small blister wounds on couples, the injuries healed almost twice as quickly when the partners interacted with warmth. Arguments and hostility caused a full day's delay in healing. Wow. Great. I need something to be wild. I agree with that. In the name of science, they're blistering people. They volunteered. So I don't know if you guys know the love hormone, but the love hormone is oxytocin. You get it when you hug. Usually you have to do it for at least 20 seconds. Physical touch, warmth, caresses. Hello, God's here. God's calling. He says, show that next slide, Dennis. Okay, research shows that people in loving relationships have a lower death rate than single people. Even people who have unhealthy lifestyles tend to live longer than those who lack social and community support. So we all know that any form of love brings joy. According to the Journal of Family Psychology, happiness has more to do with one's quality of family relationships than it does with one's level of income. So this is scientific proof that the power of love trumps the power of money. So now I want you to think about someone you love and think about how easy it is to forget them. My daughter is my favorite person in the world. Don't tell my spouse. But she can't do any wrong. She knows that. That's kind of, it's a double-edged sword because she knows it, so she knows she can cancel on me. She doesn't have to do really anything. I'm going to love her, and I'm going to forgive her. I'm not saying if she murdered somebody, I wouldn't do something about that. I probably would. I probably wouldn't let her hide in my attic. I would ask her to go to the police. Let's talk about this. You have good reason, I'm sure. Did I do that? Yeah. Okay, good. There we go. All right. So think of someone in your life who has done you wrong. Let's take a little closer eyes again. take a few seconds. Think about somebody in your life who did you wrong, somebody you have trouble loving, just don't understand them. Feel that feeling. Now I want you to think about that love, the love you felt a few minutes ago. Just bring that into your heart, into your head, let that grow. Now bring that person that you have trouble loving, bring them into that love, and know that they're doing the best they can. They're only human. It's a good feeling, right? I can see that takes a little longer to do. But it can be done. All right. So we can learn to love ourselves, and we can learn to love others. We can learn to love the world. So the world's going to be all those other 8 billion now, 7 billion, a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch. So we're all different, right? Even though according to National Human Genome Research Institute, we are 99.9 the same. Are there any mathematicians out there? No? According to mathematicians, 99.9 equals 100. But so it's that 0.1% that we're different that makes us lighter skin, darker skin, curly hair, straight hair, blue eyes, brown eyes, 6 toes, 5 toes. Yeah. So we can do it. We're almost all the same. So let's focus on that, on the sameness. So I want you to think of some people that are different from you, people you may have trouble loving or understanding. Maybe they're a different race. Maybe they have a different sexuality than you do. Maybe they're a Republican or a Democrat, right? It can be hard to love the other party. The other party? How can they believe that stuff they believe? So Matthew, oh boy, you guys are going to like this one. Matthew, this is the message. The message is a version, it's a new version of the Bible that's translated directly from the original texts into modern language. So it's going to be a little different reading. So this is Matthew 5:43 through 47. I'm going to read it, but go ahead and follow along. You're familiar with the old written law, love your friend, and its unwritten companion, hate your enemy. I'm challenging that. I'm telling you to love your enemies. Let them bring out the best in you, not the worst. When someone gives you a hard time, respond with the supple moves of prayer. For then you're working out of your true selves. You're working out, yes, of your true selves, your God-created selves. This is what God does. He gives his best, the sun to warm and the rain to nourish, to everyone, regardless of the good and bad, the nice and nasty. If all you do is love the lovable, do you expect a bonus? Anyone can do that. If you simply say hello to those who greet you, do you expect a medal? Any run-of-the-mill sinner does that. So I'm not saying it's easy to do this. I certainly have challenges. There was a certain politician who used to be a friend of mine, and I didn't realize it until I was listening to some of the stuff he was saying, and it was kind of, I would say, mean and nasty. And I'm looking at him like, that guy looks familiar, and I realized I had gone to church with him about 30 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, and now he's a politician for what I would consider not very loving party, but that's just me. Everybody's different. We all have different ways of showing love. So let's do our next one from our friend. This is from John, 1 John 4, 7, and 8. My beloved friends, let us continue to love each other, since love comes from God. Everyone who loves is born of God and experiences a relationship with God. The person who refuses to love doesn't know the first thing about God, because God is love. So you can't know him if you don't love. Of course, love looks different from one person to the next. But if anyone boasts, I love God, this is 1 John 4:20. If anyone boasts, I love God, and goes right on hating his brother or sister, think nothing of it. He is a liar. If he won't love the person he can see, how can he love the God he can't see? The command we have from Christ is blunt. Loving God includes loving people. You've got to love both. So, I'm going to quote my son. He said to me, do you think God cherishes everyone equally? And I said, yes, I do. And I had to think about that. It took me a minute, but I was like, God must love everyone equally because we're all equally part of God. So some churches think that you only become a child of God by your choice. Like you decide, I believe in Jesus, now I'm a son of God or a daughter of God. I don't think that's right. That's just me. I could be wrong. But in my humble opinion, if you're born on this earth, you're a child of God because there's only one God. Even the Christians who say that believe there's only one God. So if there's only one God and there's only one power, we're all made by this one God, this same God. So how can any of us be evil? So even if we choose to be not so loving, or what some people might consider evil, we're still worthy of love. That's hard, right? That can be hard. So we think about some people and we're like, oh, I don't know about that guy. I'm going to put this guy up here because this is attributed to Jimi Hendrix a lot, but it's not. Jimi Hendrix got it from William E. Gladstone. We look forward to the time when the power of love will replace the love of power. Then our world will know the blessings of peace. Amen. So let's think of the person that we like the least, the person out there that we like the least. To some of you, it may be Trump.
It's easy.
Is it? It's easy. To some, it may be Biden. Think of a person who makes you uncomfortable. It could be a transgender person. Drag queens are in the news now. That they're not acceptable. Think of a priest or a murderer. Think of the leader of the NRA. Maybe that person is the person you least love, or maybe it's the person in charge of Greenpeace. It could be Jesus. I know people who say they hate Jesus because of what Christians have done for thousands of years. Think about Hitler. Most people would universally say they don't like this guy. This is a human who was doing the best he could. So I was talking about my son, and I did tell him that, I think I skipped ahead to this, but yes, God cherishes all equally because we're all equally loved. We're all made of the same love. Charles Fillmore says, love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere, in everybody. It insists that all is good. It insists that all is good. And by refusing to see anything but good, it causes that quality finally to appear uppermost in itself and in all things. So let's take another minute, go back inside. Think about that person we thought of. I hate this person. Think about that person. Let that feeling just grow. Doesn't feel very good, does it? So now let's go back to our love. Go back in our minds to that love that we had. Give it a few seconds to come back. Now let's bring that person that we wish they were dead. Bring them in. Bring them into that love and know they are just as much a part of God as we are. They're just as much worthy of love as we are. They are just as much love as we are. Let's sit with that feeling for a minute. It feels a little better than the other feeling, doesn't it? So I want you to go home today. Spend your week thinking about loving yourself. First, we need to learn to love ourselves. Then we can learn to love others in our lives. And then we can learn to love all the people in the world, even the ones that we just don't want to. We can see them as worthy of love, as love. Thank you. And here's our affirmation for today. I'll say it and then say it with me. I use the power of love to change myself, others, and the world. Say it with me. I use my power of love to change myself, others, and the world. Thank you. That was me. I'm going to sing you guys a song. I love this song. Whenever you're ready, Jared.
To drown out my fears, quenching me cleansing me with tears. Rain on me, let it pour, send it down, then some more. I stand with tear-filled eyes under cloudy skies and rising seas. Let it be, let it rain on me. Clouds have come, cooling me with shadows. The breeze has brought the gift of its gentle breath, caressing me, refreshing me, blessing me with rest. Rain on me, let it pour, send it down, then some more. I stand with tear-filled eyes under cloudy skies, midst rising seas. Let it be, let it rain on me. I do love a warm sunny day. There's something so cheery about it, but I never complain about the rain. You can't have a rainbow without it. let it pour, send it down, then some more. I stand with tear-filled eyes under cloudy skies, midst rising seas. Let it be, let it rain, rain on me. Let it be, let it rain, rain on me.
That was a great message and a great song. Thank you. And now it's time for our offering. As you most know, our church is supported by our tithes, and many of us give online, and I want to thank you for that. I think the board has discussed maybe putting some fake dollar store money on the table. And if you give online, you can put that in there, so you don't feel like it's just passing you by, you know, you don't get to put anything in there. We're discussing it, we don't know if it'll happen. Let me know if you think it's a good idea. Anyway, we do like to do our passing of the basket right now, and let's see our gratitude prayer, please. Join me in reading this. We give thanks for these many blessings of today, and know that they are but a symbol of the inexhaustible substance of the universe. I give thanks that 10 times this much or more is now on its way to me and quickly manifests in perfect ways. So while that's being passed, we'll have another song by Dennis, and then we will do our kind of blessing.
You guys know this? Please sing along. If you do. Said you do, but maybe you do. You do sing along.
I have decided to live abundantly. I have decided to live in joy. I have decided to live in peace. I have decided to live in love. Let's sing that again. I have decided to live abundantly. I have decided to live in joy. I have decided to live in peace. I have decided to live in love. I gotta save my life, changed a lot the day I rearranged my thoughts. I got more love, joy, and peace. Now I'm thinking thankfully. I have decided to live abundantly. I have decided to live in joy. I have decided to live in peace. I have decided to live in love. I gotta save my life, changed a lot the day I rearranged my thoughts. I got more love, joy, and peace. Now I'm thinking thankfully. I close my eyes and look inside. I realize my heart's my guide. I have decided to live abundantly. I have decided to live in joy. I have decided to live in peace. I have decided to live in love. I have decided to live in love.
One more time.
I have decided to live in love.
Thank you, Reverend Julia. Let's do our offering blessing together. Divine love as thee blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. I am so blessed. Thank you, God. Thank you. Our announcements today, our prayer partner today is Barbara Kelly. Barbara will meet you in the corner. There she is. She meets right over there in the corner. The prayer team meeting, of course, is every Wednesday at 10 a.m. That's on Zoom. The Reiki Share Group every Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. If you want information about that, see Betty. A Course in Miracles. What day? What day is that?
We have our last, we're having our last on Tuesday.
Last on Tuesday, okay. Metaphysical Group every other Wednesday. Sheila Taylor is the person to talk to about that if you're interested. Our musician next Sunday is a mystery. So don't forget to be here for that. Oh, yes, Julia.
I'll be out of town for the next 2 weeks, so there will not be a prayer group on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Forgot what I said about the prayer group? She's gone for 2 weeks. Barbara,
I
quickly?
just wanted to say that maybe for the last time, I brought my 2 books in case anybody wants to look at them.
Okay, and those, you can get those afterwards at the table to see you for that? Yes?
You can't get them, but you can talk to me.
That's what I'm saying. You can talk to her at the table afterwards.
Anywhere.
Thank you. Okay. Also want to, this weekend, which wouldn't have worked out because Jeannie and Amy are not here. By the way, please know that Amy is well and whole. She has COVID. So that's why she's not here today. But next week will be the last week for the clothing drive for the women's shelter that we are doing. So if you've been, you'll pick them up. Well, I didn't bring them today. If anybody brought some today, good, good. So Dennis will take care of that. But next week is the last one for that, so.
Any
Just wanted-
clothing?
It's any clothing, yes, not just women's, all clothing. Okay, I think that's everything from announcement-wise, so we're gonna do a prayer for protection. Dennis is, I'm sorry, yes, ma'am. In the back there, Odie.
I just want to say that last week we had a wonderful brunch after church. For next month, it's going to be the 3rd Sunday because the 2nd Sunday is Mother's Day. The sign-up sheet is here. Please sign up. It's such a wonderful social event for us.
Thank you, Odie, yes.
What's
Yes.
in that bag? Okay.
So Friendship
Oh.
Friendship Sunday will be the 3rd Sunday of next month.
Oh, good.
Any other announcements? No. Okay. Then prayer for protection. Dennis? And you'll do the affirmation at the
And
end?
then I'll do the affirmation, and then you can go home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Stand if you want.
The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence wherever I am. God is. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence wherever we are.
Let's say our affirmation together. I use the power of love to change myself, others, and the world. Be blessed.